I was thinking about the Draymond Green situation. I'm in pretty good shape for my age, in my 50s. And there are some things I wish I could do over in my life. I don't have the relentless, boundless energy I did when I was 24 years old, where I could go play basketball, pick up basketball, rip my ankle up, and then 2 days later be out playing again. Have a ski accident. Next day I'm on the slopes. Things take longer to heal. You get into your 50s and shit breaks, right? But I think the advantage to having perspective is I just don't get worked up very much because I've seen everything 7 times. Like when Elon Musk took over X and Twitter, now X, and people freaked out. Take a deep breath. It's going to take 6 to 9 months to figure it out. I don't think the user experience is quite as good as it was, but I filter out what I don't want. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to rush to Threads and protest. That seems so juvenile and so childish to me. Take a deep breath. If you're spending that much time on X, probably need to get a life anyway. If you have strong, defiant opinions about a social media app, maybe get off the social media app. I see it all the time with President Biden. Oh, he's the worst, the best. He's neither. He's not the best president. He's not the worst. The stock market's over 37,000. Right? Inflation down, gas prices down in most of the country, unemployment's under 4%. There's a lot of manufacturing jobs that have bounced back. We're through COVID. I don't think Biden's the best president. I don't think he's the worst. Age is a concern. Again, I'm not outraged by the stuff I read. When Bud Light put somebody on the can, a transgender person on a can, people freaked out. My takeaway was, well, I don't think coming off Real Men of Genius to that was the smartest marketing plan, but I didn't lose sleep over it because I don't necessarily care who's on a can of beer, and I'm married with kids and, pretty strong, thriving business here at the Volume, and I work on TV and radio. I think people who overreact to stuff are bored or they need attention. And there are things to get worked up about. We know that. But it didn't happen to me very often. When I saw the Draymond Green flailing punch, my takeaway was, go YouTube Bill Laimbeer. You can't believe he was tackling people during the finals. Not Tuesday games, Wednesday games. Dennis Rodman, YouTube him, but literally didn't show up to playoff games, went to Vegas to hang out. Michael Jordan had to fly out there and get him. Is that I remember the 1970s NBA, fights, empty arenas, the horrible ownership groups from Donald Sterling to Ted Stepien. I don't like what Draymond Green did, and he deserved to be suspended. Indefinitely is fine. He'll get help, deal with some counseling. His agent, Rich Paul, and Clutch Sports will help him navigate that. But I know Draymond. He's a terrific employee. He's a hard worker. He's an excellent podcaster. He's thoughtful and very, very reflective. I've never thought he mails it in. He's been a good teammate. I think he's the second most important warrior to Steph Curry. He's been a catalyst. He's been a great teammate there. Doesn't have to get along with everybody. Kobe didn't get along with everybody. Michael Jordan didn't get along with everybody. Michael Jordan punched the teammate. So it's not that I'm supporting Draymond just because he works at the Volume. My feeling is, when you have perspective and you've watched Laimbeer and you've watched Dennis Rodman and you see Draymond, and Laimbeer and Draymond are more talented, better offensive players, obviously, than Dennis Rodman, but it's just perspective. He's not, let's take a deep breath here. He's not selling drugs to kids. He's not a shady politician. He's not selling weapons to inappropriate people. It's a sports suspension based on a very physical player who is kind of, I would call him a disruptive player. Through the years, there's been a lot of hockey enforcers, and it's difficult, and it messed with a lot of guys' heads. And a lot of guys who are hockey enforcers, protecting a great player on their hockey team, were medicating themselves through any means possible, often alcohol. And I think when you are Dennis or Draymond or Bill Laimbeer, and you're kind of an enforcer, that you go to the arena every night, you're going to guard the best player of your size. You're going to have to get in his head. You're going to have to be physical. It's different than going out, ball handling, and hitting threes. It's a big, difficult task for hockey enforcers and basketball disruptors. So I'm always a little lenient, understanding that every team needs a tough guy. Every team needs an enforcer. And it's really hard. It's hard to do. It's just like in football. Not all positions are same. Not all positions, require the same focus or attention. It's much easier to be a running back and a cornerback right out of college to the pros than it is a left tackle or a quarterback or a signal calling Mike linebacker. There are certain positions that are just harder and they demand more from the athlete. So I think one of the things I like about being in this business a long time is I don't tend to initially overreact to stuff. When Shohei Ohtani signed and he deferred 90% of his contract or more. Well, it's legal. And he did it so he can play with better players and to manipulate the California tax system. People all over California do that. Live 60% of the time in another state, Florida, Nevada, Washington state, no state taxes, and then live some of the time in California. Nobody had a problem with the Yankees dominating the hot stove league 20 years ago when the Yes Network that was making at the time $400 million had a decided advantage on every other regional or local cable network, and the Yankees bought whoever they wanted to. Nobody was outraged by that. It was celebrated. I know a lot of people in the media, and I respect a lot of people in the media and trust a lot, but the constant overreaction to everything. Draymond Green is a basketball suspension, and he's going to get right. He's been a great employee at the Volume, and again, incredibly reflective guy, willing to take criticism, willing to be coached. But I've seen enforcers and disruptors in sports, and it's a big lift. It's a hard ask, and there's a lot of turbulence. There's been a lot of great moments in Draymond's career. There's been some bumpy ones, and this is a bumpy one. In the NBA, the games can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, do you know that DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered? This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets by just betting $5 on basketball. How good of a deal is that from DraftKings Sportsbook? Win or lose, you get the instant W. Instant. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Please use the code Colin, COLIN. New customers, $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5. The code is Colin, COLIN. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, code Colin. The crown is yours. Time for another week of the VLTED Challenge. We're excited to be using the VLTED app. It's VLTED. It's a place where you can store your sports predictions, participate in cash prize pools without an entry fee. Make sure to enter the Colin Cowherd pool, chance to win $2,500 in cash prizes. All you have to do is answer the questions with confidence points, walk away with some serious cash. You receive an exclusive challenge also from me on the VLTED app, VLTED, the VLTED app. Same stakes this week. First place, $2,000. Winner gets to compete against me, one-on-one challenge. VLTED offers free pools, cash prizes every single day. Congrats to last week's winner, Jacob Ast, who won $2,000. That's a lot of coin right before the holidays. He'll receive an exclusive offer to challenge me on the VLTED app. Download it quickly, VLTED, the VLTED app. You can prove you're smarter than your friends. NFL, college football, NBA, college hoops. It's all great. Let's bring in J-Mac, another edition of the VLTED Challenge. He went 2-0 last week. First 1 to 50 wins. He's got a lead. Here's the Week 15 predictions from me, the herd, yours truly. I'm going to take the Bengals to cover against the Vikings, -3.5. Jake Browning can play. I mean, the Vikings are now on quarterback 3, quarterback 4. I think Zach Taylor's done a good job with Jake Browning, who's certainly not Joe Burrow, but he's accurate. He's a grown-up. He was a longtime college starter. I'm risking 6 units. What say you?
Wow. Yeah, if you're giving me the hook, I'll take it. I think Nick Mullins in one spot can surprise Cincinnati. We haven't seen Mullins really this year other than a little bit spotty last week. He did look good under Shanahan a few years ago. I think Kevin O'Connell can scheme up some stuff and have success. My concern for your Bengals is how Browning handles Flores' pressure. 47% pressure rate. Flores is sending the blitz, sending the house, and I don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. So I'll take the Vikings getting the hook.
I'm going to take the Commanders to cover plus 6.5 against the Rams. I think LA wins, but they're off an exhausting overtime loss to Baltimore. I'm going to risk 8 units here. Why do you accept my vaulted challenge?
Putting 8 units on the back of Sam Howell, the turnover machine. Wow, that's risky around the holidays. I like the Rams here. This feels like an over. This is going to sail over. I don't see how Washington stops Stafford and company. Obviously, the Rams defense has issues, but this could be like a Puka 100 yards, Cooper Kupp 100 yards, Kyron Williams 100 on the ground. I like the Rams to get margin here. They're a playoff team and a dangerous one, Colin.
All right, Bears at Browns. I hear the wise guys like the Bears. I'm going to predict risking 7 units. I'm going to have the Browns, that defense at home against Justin Fields, who I think is mistake prone when he's not comfortable. He won't be. Do you accept the vaulted challenge? Yes. Why?
Yes, I do. And I think this is the week Joe Flacco turns into a pumpkin against a pretty good Bears defense. Listen, they've shown well lately. Eberflus trying his best to keep his job. Keep an eye on what the Browns do defensively against the running quarterback here. Remember, they struggled mightily against running quarterbacks. I think Justin Fields can have a big one on the ground. Their backs are going to be turned. Fields has lit up the Lions twice. I think he can do some damage here. Give me the Bears getting the hook.
I predict Dak Prescott more passing yards than Josh Allen. It's amazing. Gabe Davis can just disappear. They just didn't throw the ball down the field last week. I'll risk 5 units here. Why do you accept my vaulted challenge?
Yeah, let's see anybody stop Josh Allen. He's been on fire. I know he struggled in the second half against Kansas City. I have a feeling, just a gut feeling, McCarthy plays this one safe. On the road, the offense hasn't been as explosive. I think they'll try to run it. I believe Josh Allen has to put this through the air. Give me 300 yards for Allen, outpacing Dak Prescott.
So there you go. They're locked into the Vaulted app, VLTED, and make sure to enter the Colin Cowherd pool totally free. First place, $2,000. Remember the Vaulted app, VLTED. The QR code is right on the screen.